So we're going to do the H&E lymph node, H&E stained lymph node, and the silver lymph node in this video. So first the H&E stained lymph node, and you can see right away that it's very blue, but the center is a lighter blue because there's a less density of lymphocytes. So while there is some eosin staining of the connective tissue capsule around the edge here, and there are some trabecula that are dividing the lymph node cortex into lobules, with the germinal centers in the nodules here. And then the deep cortex is between the green line and the yellow line, where the T lymphocytes reside, and of course the medulla here that contains medullary cords and medullary lymphocytes. Now the flow of lymph in a lymph node comes into the capsule area on the convex side by way of vessels that approach and connect, and they're called afferent. Afferent meaning toward the lymph node. Afferent lymphatic vessels. And then the lymph percolates through the cortex, through the deep cortex, and then it's collected in the sinusoids, the medullary sinusoids, and then it flows out through the concave part, which is a very small area due to this plane of section. But then the lymph exits by way of efferent, going away from lymphatic vessels. So if we look at this next annotation, you will see the cortex with the germinal centers, and all these would be B lymphoblasts, because these nodules are pretty much pure B lymphocytes, and they are being exploded in population by mitosis of similarly programmed B lymphocytes, which will transform into plasma cells that will finally make their way into the medullary cords and throughout the body. So the deep cortex is where you find these specialized vessels that I'm going to pause and try to find one for you. Okay, here is one, and there's some in cross-section up here, but the endothelial cells lining these is pretty much cuboidal to columnar, and this is where the T lymphocytes that have been circulating in the blood come out through these specialized venules and go into the deep cortex. And then, as I said before, they find their way into the medullary cords and eventually into the sinusoids, or the sinuses, and then go out of the lymph node to recirculate throughout the body. Okay, so the yellow arrows indicate medullary cords, and these are sinusoids and lymphocytes in the sinusoids. There are blood vessels here, but they're not very obvious. There may be one down here. Not sure. You can look for them yourselves. Well, here's one here, and that's a little arteriole, but the red blood cells have fallen out, and then all the medullary sinuses contain lymph and lymphocytes. So let's go to the silver stained one, which will reveal the framework structure of the lymph node. Again, the medulla is easily recognized by being lighter in the silver stain, and you see the dark meandering structures are the medullary cords. Here we see the nodules, but notice around the edge, look at the reticular fibers. And then if you go into the medulla, you see the sinusoids are outlined with reticular fibers, and then the lymphocytes are percolating from the medullary cords into the sinusoids here. So the lymph node, like the liver and the spleen, has a very extensive reticular fiber network.